Our second top story of the day, from the rough and tumble of UP electoral politics, the battleground has shifted to Parliament, where the combined might of the opposition is trying to corner the BJP on the EVM tampering allegations. A lot of drama went down today in Parliament. Take a look at this, have a taste of it. We'll come right back.
UP may have been won, but the battle is not over. The arena, however, has shifted to the Parliament, where the opposition combined forces against the BJP. They claim the victory was with trickery and deceit by tampering EVMs.
प्रदेश में ईवीएम में बड़े पैमाने पर गड़बड़ी की गई है और इस मामले को लेकर हमारी पार्टी अदालत में भी जा रही है, लेकिन और चली गई अदालत में।
5 इलेक्शन में वो कर देते तो चोरी बाहर आई, लेकिन उन्होंने सबसे बड़े स्टेट का में चोरी कर दी ताकि किसी को
इलेक्शन कमीशन कहीं भी दबा जाए वोट चला जाएगा। चिप और चिप का ठेका भी किस पे है ये बताने की कृपा करें। जो चिप बनाई जा रही है उसका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किस पर है,
With charges of democracy being undermined, what is the possible solution ahead of Madhya Pradesh by-polls?
ईवीएम मशीन के बारे में इसमें छेड़छाड़ हो सकती है, इसलिए बैलेट पेपर पे ही चुनाव कराया जाए।
But the centre rubbishes the accusation, saying if the opposition has proof, they should knock on the EC's door instead of disrupting the Parliament.
पार्टी का बटन दबाया, उसका ही वोट स्लिप आया है, तो कोई घोटाला नहीं है, ये हमें समझना चाहिए। और इसलिए इसका आपको अगर जाना है तो इलेक्शन कमीशन चाहिए। सदन का समय मत बर्बाद कीजिए। ये जो है वो देश के लोगों का अपमान है, देश के लोकतंत्र का अपमान है, और हार की हताशा में देश के लोकतंत्र का अपमान हो, ये अनएक्सेप्टेबल है। ये अनएक्सेप्टेबल है।
For the BJP, it's mere excuses that sore losers are making after the UP drubbing.
मुझे समझ नहीं आता क्योंकि अभी से इनको अपनी हार दिखाई दे रही है, इसलिए वो पहले से कहने शुरू कर दिए हैं कि कल अगर भारतीय जनता पार्टी जीतेगी तो हम कह देंगे कि ईवीएम टैंपर हो रही है।
So has the opposition rejected people's mandate, or is democracy being subverted? Bureau Report, News X.
Professor Nalpat, Dr. Swami, Tom Varakan of the Congress Party, Debashish Jararia of the BSP, and T.S. Krishnamurthy, former CEC, joins us for this debate. Let me start with you, Dr. Swami. Today, the entire day, especially in the upper house of Parliament, a united opposition kept harping on instances of alleged EVM tampering during a demonstration. They said, in fact, Arvind Kejriwal has been saying this for a very long time now. Now, do you believe the EC, which has promised an investigation into the said attempt or these allegations, should immediately rule out any tampering? Is it that simple, Dr. Swami? Should we just assume that electronic voting machines are completely infallible?
Well, in 2012, 2013, the Supreme Court spent 2 years going over this problem in my petition. And we looked at every angle of how the EVMs could be rigged. And then took steps, and the Supreme Court on my petition gave directions on what corrective steps should be taken. Now, at today, we have just have a series of allegations. None of it is even remotely substantiated. Nothing like a prima facie case has been made out. All they are saying is there was a machine which came from Kanpur, in which you pressed one button and or any button you pressed, only BJP vote was counted. Now, these are absurd things, because the fact of the matter is that your neighborhood ATM also can clean out your account. But that the probability is so small that people have faith that the ATM money that is there, which through the ATM, will be secure. So I can say in a nutshell that a EVM's machine is only you can rig it if you can manage the chip. There is a chip which is put in, and that chip is not manufactured in India, it's manufactured in Japan. Earlier on, there were no safeguards. Just one single person from the election commission used to go to Japan and bring it.
So in your
anything
opinion,
could
it's
have
a
happened.
political
Now
ploy.
there is a
By a bankrupt opposition,
No,
bankrupt of ideas, they're clutching at straws. Are they clutching at straws, the opposition?
no, but they can clutch at. There is no straw even to clutch at. They're clutching at air. What is it they have produced? They say that all the machines are not VVPAT. Well, in UP, 20 places there were VVPAT, and of the 20, BJP won 17. And they won in Punjab, where there is no VVPAT at all. So how do you explain that?
One second, before
And
I come to
earlier
you,
on,
Tom Varakan.
Kejriwal won 68 out of 70 seats.
Yes, Tom Varakan, the argument, the
Delhi.
counter here is every time any political party wins by a huge margin, then the EVMs are never an issue. It's only when you've received a crackling defeat from the BJP, the government is clutching at air, to quote Dr. Swami. There is no empirical evidence. I can quote to you what the demonstration was made. Like I'm aware of this story where the VVPAT machine continued printing votes in favor of the BJP, irrespective of which button was pressed. And the doubt on the EVM is not just the Aam Aadmi Party anymore. Your leader in the House, Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad, senior respected politician, said EVM machines must be stopped immediately. There are those, Mr. Varakan, who say perhaps the EVMs are the greatest tribute to Indian democracy that we've seen.
Athar, I respect your views, but I am very surprised on Dr. Swami's statement. Before I go in for a debate, I study Dr. Swami's 5-year back tapes, which is in public domain. You can search it and you get it. He was very strong. He went with a writ petition, Dr. Swami, and he mentioned how he did not contest the 2009 election because of EVM machines, and that 2004 date was quoted, and he lost, and he took this issue up, and he wondered how this was managed. This is Dr. Swami. I can show you the tape. I mean, this is not something doctored. This is a public interview on Wire.
I think Dr. Swami himself said, to be fair to him,
I'm coming to it.
Can I intervene here a minute?
It can be tampered with if you get hold of the chip. I think he conceded that. So in no way is Dr. Swami saying they're infallible. But he is saying that the
I want to add one more thing.
Yes.
I want to add one more thing.
Yes.
Because they keep quoting my thing in both Parliament and elsewhere.
Yes.
In 2004, out of 1,500 booths, I got 0 votes in 500 of them. Now, how is it possible with me, with my party having 5 members in each booth, which means at least 25, including their family members, minimum votes per booth, I should get 0? It's impossible. And that was a blatant case of a prima facie evidence that some rigging has taken
Dr.
place.
Swami, those are similar
It's
arguments.
only after that.
Similar arguments by Aam Aadmi Party, a corporator or former corporator in the BMC poll, some Assam-related news, and a couple of others in Gwalior. Debashis Jararia, this is the same kind of argument that you keep pressing one button.
No, they have no such evidence.
Let's talk to Debashis Jararia.
such
Yeah,
evidence.
let's put him up.
Actually, if Swamiji already accepted that EVM rigging is possible, that we have seen. So first of all, we should come to the proper point that EVM rigging is not a hoax, it's a reality. Swamiji has got, in 2013, he got a verdict from Supreme Court. They said that free and fair elections are indispensable requirement of this democracy. What is our general question? That there should be an investigation. If large section of opposition parties raising a question over EVM machines on some prima facie cases, there are 2 prima facie cases.
Here's the problem. The opposition has never mentioned this issue before, whether they've lost or won elections. So, why now? Why all of a sudden?
So
what
let
makes
me
you
quote,
believe
so
that
let
there
me
is
quote,
large-scale rigging in elections at the state municipal level?
That's what I'm saying, that if there is some hacking with the program, if some program is tampered, how could you know that? We don't have some empirical evidences how a program can be tampered. So you need a proper investigation to check that program is whether it is rigged or not. I'm just asking one thing, that please EC should come forward and say what is the source coding done in the EVM chips. Just made it public and let us check whether
Okay, I'll come to VVPATs in just a bit. I think Tom Varakan wants to come in, then Professor Nelpat, then I'll go to Mr. Krishnamurthy. Tom Varakan, go ahead, sir.
the key of Dr. I trust Dr. Swamy. I mean, I have a great trust in him. And when he's gone to the bottom of it, about talking about a chip, the whole issue is the manipulation of the chip. Now, he also went and quoted then Information Technology Act, Section 11. That's what, if I am correct, Dr. Swamy quoted, wherein there has to be some evidence, empirical evidence, of when you press a button where your vote goes. He talks about the ATM machine. And I'm very surprised that this man, Dr. Swamy, who runs after truth, and I think your passion for truth should extend to this. Dr. Swamy, this is not between Congress and BJP. This is the question of existence of this country.
Free and fair
democracy
elections.
in this country.
Looking at the
Whether
evidence
BJP does
in
it or any other
that
party
has been
does it is not
presented
the
by
issue.
the Aam Aadmi Party and all
Free
the other
and
political
fair,
parties
that's
combined.
it.
Professor
That's it.
Nalpat, one second. Professor Nalpat, free and fair elections are essential for Indian democracy. Should the EC be taking it the kind, people have said that the EC perhaps is too casual towards this. I can quote one instance where the state CEO, where this demonstration was held, laughed and joked about it to the media, saying, and I quote him now, that the media should not highlight this incident or else they will be made to sit in the police station. Now, it could have been a crude, crass joke, but if you read about it, it looks almost ominous. Should the EC be completely chucking the idea that this could be?
Well, actually, a few people who talked about EVMs did land up in police stations and did land up in jail. Anupam Saraf and I did a lot of work on EVMs in 2009. Now, my simple point, frankly, to my good friend Tom is, I mean, 2004 to 2014, they were running the country. 2009 onwards, they were running the country. And this EVM controversy has really erupted after 2009. I think, after, for example, Anupam and myself, we wrote those things on the possibility of tampering. Now, if they have come up with any evidence that EVMs have been tampered or were tampered or can be tampered, well, they never mentioned a word of it, frankly, till now. So the point is, please, Tom, come up with whatever evidence you have to justify the assertion that you're making.
Mr. Krishnamurthy is a former Chief Election Commissioner. Should the Election Commission, Mr. Krishnamurthy, in fact, I've been just told Mr. Krishnamurthy has been disconnected. I'll go back to Tom Varakan and Dr. Swamy. I think Debashish wants to come in here. Empirical, concrete evidence. What you have right now, Debashish, is conspiracy theory and allegation. I think nothing more than that.
See, sir, on the first instant, when we talk about this EVM scam after the UP election results, nobody was even mentioning that Election Commission come forward and said that EVMs are tamper-proof, 100% tamper-proof. I want to ask Dr. Swamy that did he agree with the statement of the Election Commission that EVMs are 100% tamper-proof? I might quote Hari Prasad. He's a vigilante. He demonstrated that EVMs can be tampered, and he got jailed for 1 year. You go to a website, indiaevm.org, you can find lots of ways how EVM machines can be tampered. And second thing, that in the Ater incident, I'm from Gwalior, I know about the local news, what is happening there. So in Ater incident, first day, nobody was even mentioning this incident. Then second day, Election Commission himself accepted that what has happened, some problems were there. They have changed the SP.
You're talking about a couple of incidents, as Dr. Swamy suggested, a very minuscule chance of this happening on a large scale. What you are saying is large-scale rigging, large-scale tampering, something you have no evidence of.
Let's go with a proper investigation. What is... कोई इन्वेस्टिगेशन कराने में हर्ज क्या है? किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होनी चाहिए इन्वेस्टिगेशन कराने में. That's what my point is. I'm not giving any assertion. किसी पे मैं कोई आरोप नहीं लगा रहा हूँ कुछ भी. Let's go for a proper inquiry. सुप्रीम कोर्ट के अंदर एक proper SIT बनाई जाए और एक independent inquiry हो जाए.
Okay, Professor Nalpat, before I go back to Dr. Swamy for an answer, and I think Tom also wants to come in here. A report that highlighted really the kind of statements coming out of the Election Commission here. Some people have criticized the Election Commission for being too offhand about such a serious allegation. And one of the statements that has invited criticism, of course, when the Aam Aadmi Party went to the Election Commission, the statement that came out of the Election Commission as part of an answer was, it is for your party to introspect as to why your party could not perform as per your expectation, and is unfair on the part of your party to attribute unsatisfactory poll performance to the alleged tamperability of the EVMs. Now, is this too political a statement for the Election Commission to make? Does this give rise to even more questions?
Well,
should they be indulging in political statements?
Well, the introspecting about the reasons for a poll loss is important. I think the Aam Aadmi Party has introspected, and they've come up with EVMs as one of the reasons. So they have done their introspection and they have come up with conclusions which are very different from the Election Commission's conclusions. My point is only very, very simple. Tom's party has been in government for 10 years. It had access to all the secret files, all the hidden information. It had access to all that information. Well, Tom, you had access to that information. If there was any evidence that EVMs could be tampered with or were being tampered with, you would have got that evidence. Then in that case, why don't you come forward with that? Why are you just making assertions without evidence?
Before you answer that, Tom Varakan, Mr. Krishnamurthy has rejoined us. Apologies for the delay here, Mr. Krishnamurthy. Your take as a former Chief Election Commissioner on the infallibility of EVMs.
Well, as far as the electronic voting machines is concerned, I have no doubt whatsoever about the credibility of this machine. It has been tested. It has been tested by an expert technical committee headed by former director of the IIT, Mr. Indiresan. Please read the report of Mr. Indiresan. He had asked about 20 engineers to break open the machine to find out any defect or any flaw in the machine. It's very unfortunate that the political parties, for gaining political objectives, have leveled allegations against the machine, which is the pride of India, which is the discovery of Indian technicians, and the chip about which Mr. Swamy mentioned, it is not brought by the Election Commission. It is brought by the public sector corporations which had installed, and if the chip is burned, it cannot be reprogrammed. It's very unfortunate that you are decrying a discovery which is praised by all over the world. All right, if there is a suspicion, certainly order an inquiry. I have no problem on that. Yes, certainly a technical expert can be asked. This has been proved more than 5 or 6 times before the Supreme Court. Nobody has been able to prove. Only doubts have been raised, and in order to raise the doubt, the paper trail has been introduced. If there are 2 or 3 machines are not working, certainly order an inquiry, no problem. The Election Commission.
One word answer, Dr. Krishnamurthy.
The machine, do not
is the suggestion to go back to ballot paper viable in this day and age?
Parties are exploiting.
T.S. Krishnamurthy, one word answer. Is the demand by the opposition to go back to postal ballot?
So you can easily have an allegation against the machine.
No, ballot paper in this day and age, Mr. Krishnamurthy, viable idea or a laughable idea?
Well, ballot papers, certainly we are going 100 years behind, because it will take 3 to 4 months for you to count all the ballot papers with the increase in the number of voters. It is not going to be easy.
All right.
There can be collusion, there can be fraud even under the ballot paper system.
All right, as we've seen in the past as well. I'll give 30 seconds to Tom Varakan and 20 seconds to Debashish if I have the time.
They were inserted in the ballot
All right, Dr. Krishnamurthy.
Do not think that the ballot paper system is a better
Tom Varakan, 30 seconds to you. I have very little time left.
I have great respect for Mr. Krishnamurthy and his term as an election chief. But let me add to this. When there is a doubt raised in politics across the board, I believe Dr. Swamy's first version, in which he said the chips can be manipulated. The question here is, he also mentioned countries like Japan, England, Germany, which has gone back to the ballot system. It is, but he gave another suggestion which I thought was much more interesting, that under the section of Information Technology Act, Section 11, if a printout comes out, where you know where the vote goes, and that is put parallelly in the box, which is Dr. Swamy. No, that is Dr. Swamy's submission. Let's add to it. If there is a dispute, it can be checked out. But I must also add, today something strange happened. People in Mumbai have taken the matter to the court. It is not political parties,
Okay,
Mr.
all right.
Krishnamurthy.
I think the controversy is going to continue here. I don't think we're getting any easy answers tonight. Debashish, very quickly, 10 seconds, not more.
Sir, Election Commission's duty is to provide free and fair election. If any political party is raining some doubt, they should address those
At the
doubts.
very least,
That
address
EVM Commission, that Election Commission is not EVM Commission of India.
Okay,
So
all
they
right.
should not back EVM.
All right. I
full-fledgedly.
think many questions still unanswered. Perhaps the inquiry would do some justice, but the political parties coming up with allegations also need to come up with concrete, actionable proof. Otherwise, it'll become a political debate, really, and that's where it will end. Dr. Swamy, pleasure to speaking to you again. Tom Varakan, Professor Nalpat, Debashish Jararia, and T.S. Krishnamurthy, who joined us. That's all the time we have on The Nation at 9. We had 2 debates. I'll take your leave now. I'm Athar Khan. Good night.